Hello everyone, my name is Joe Higgins. I'm the band director at Rowan University, and I'm thrilled to serve as the conductor for the All Shore Symphonic Band this year, 2024. I thought I would take a short moment to preview some of our music for you, so that as you're preparing for the early rehearsals and for the two-day event, that you are armed with all the resources imaginable. I am so excited to make music with you. We have a great set of pieces picked out, and yeah, can't wait to see you in person. In the meantime, let's hear about this music. The first piece on the program is Flourish for Wind Band by Ralph Vaughan Williams. This is a standard in the band repertoire. It's an awesome, strong, just about a minute and a half, short concert opener. As you're preparing this piece, beyond listening to the reference recording, which for all of these is the best thing you can do, is listen to a recording, a great recording, like is on this YouTube playlist. Listen to these recordings a couple of times. That will give us such a head start when we all meet together. Because I won't be the only person who knows how the music goes. We'll all know how it goes. That'll make it move a lot faster. All right, so in addition to listening to the recording, what I want you to focus on is the articulation. Ralph Vaughan Williams did not include many accents or staccato or tenuto. There's not much on the part. So we just have to understand the style and know how to play it. Bum, 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 bum. The reference recording that you have is a good indicator, but there should be space between the notes. They're not accented, they don't have forte pianos, but it's really bold and strong. Lots of air, space between the notes. When we get to letter B, very soft. So if you spend a little bit of time practicing this, practice playing very soft right there. We will do a true piano so that this short little piece has a lot of contrast. The most exposed sections, that would be the trumpets and the horns and the trombones and those first 10 measures, your fanfare. That's a good thing to practice. You can even practice it just with your mouthpiece to make sure that you're really supporting that fanfare. Second piece on the program is Kataj Copley's Halcyon Hearts. This is a new greatest hits for band music. It's being played so much all over the country. We had Kataj out to Rowan earlier this year, and it was a blast. He's an awesome guy, and it's an awesome, awesome piece of music. It's a celebration of love and joy. No one doesn't like this piece. It has one of the best melodies. It's fast at about 160 beats a minute. So I recommend for this one that you practice with a metronome and make sure that you can get up to about 160, because that's, for some of your parts, pretty technical. In the middle section, when it slows down, we might go a little slower than marked, but if you're practicing it at the tempos that's marked, 160 beats a minute, and then in the slower section, you can go, as slow as 120 beats a minute with how you practice, then we'll be set up for success. Lots of nice percussion parts. He calls it a celebration of love, looking forward to halcyon days, days of great joy and peace and positivity. The next piece, a slow piece called Ash by composer Jennifer Jolly, who's now not too far away. She's in New York teaching and writing. Ash is her meditation on what it was like as a child to have never seen snowfall, because she was in Southern California, so she had never seen snowfall, but did see ash falling from the wildfires that were miles and miles and miles away. That ash falling down was beautiful and mysterious and interesting, but as she's grown older, of course, understands it to be a sign of something scary and destructive. So the piece is pulling between something beautiful and something destructive. And that's especially poignant when you think about nature and where we are today with large environmental disasters and climate change. There'll be more to talk about with this piece. It makes very expressive use of rests. It has some beautiful solos in the beginning. Some of the brass parts, especially the first trumpet part, go up pretty high. We'll have options to take things down an octave. This piece looks very simple on the page, but it requires a lot of expressive energy from everybody in the group. The next piece is Omar Thomas's Mother of a Revolution. In the reference recordings, I've included the pieces on the program and sometimes also another piece written by that composer. So for Kataj Copley, I also included his piece Dope, just because it's awesome and you might want to listen to it. For Omar Thomas, I've included a great recording of Mother of a Revolution, but I've also included my favorite recording of his piece Come Sunday, which is incredible. So listen to both pieces. Mother of a Revolution, it's rockin'. As you practice, please be careful with your rhythm. Make sure that you're playing the rhythms exactly as they're written. There's a lot of triplet versus 16th note. The bass line at the beginning, that repeated rhythm of bum, 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 has an interesting syncopation. Make sure that you're learning it correctly as you practice so that we don't have to relearn it. Part of this sounds chasing, almost like a Batman movie theme, but the piece is actually, it is meant to invoke dance and that kind of chasing energy. It's inspired by Marsha Peyton Johnson. She was a trans activist, and this piece was written celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising. We'll talk more about that, but here in 2024, we'll be celebrating the 55th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising in 1969. Very challenging piece, a lot of good percussion parts. You'll have fun with this one. The next piece on the program is Letter from Sado by Jody Blackshaw. This is another piece that requires quite a bit from us as the performers to fill it with intention. This one, you don't need to practice much. I do just ask that you listen to the reference recording because the recording video shows you the score and you'll be able to see some of the interesting pictorial score things that she's doing, things that look not obvious on the page as to what you're supposed to do. When you listen to the recording, you'll see, oh, this is the color, this is the effect. The piece is structured after a haiku, a 3-line haiku. Stormy seas, stretching over Sado, Heaven's River. The stormy seas part is raucous and violent, and everyone, you're playing these little musical cells very freely. Stretching over Sado is conducted, it's the normal music looking section, and this is about the island of Sado off Japan. So you hear taiko drum ensembles, you hear almost like a ships going into battle sort of swagger. There's a whisper that sounds mysterious and intense. And the final section, Heaven's River, is a translation of the Japanese term for the Milky Way. So if in the beginning we had stormy seas, then stretching over Sado, the island section, Heaven's River is, we're now back out on the seas, but instead of it there being a storm, it's very quiet and we can look up and see a sky full of stars in the Milky Way. So the beginning and end are connected, but very different moods. It's a wonderful piece to put together. Depending on time, we might perform it in a giant circle. This ends up being many people's favorite piece, even though it's not very technically challenging. So take a listen. And the last piece, this will be a big project, Variations on a Korean Folk Song. Some of you may have played this piece before. It's a real standard in our repertoire and one of my favorites. The composer, John Barnes Chance, was in the US Army. He was an arranger and he was stationed in Seoul, Korea in the late 50s during the Korean War. And he heard a lot of Korean music while he was there. When he came back to the States, one of the pieces he brought back in his head is a Japanese folk song, and a specific folk song. A video of that song in a more traditional setting is included on the playlist. So using that folk song as a jumping off point, he created a series of 5 variations for band. It's very exciting. There are, many different moods and characters evoked. I've included an excellent performance by the Air Force Band for you to check out, and lots to practice in here. It's straightforward concert band music, lots to practice. Particularly interesting, there's an exciting 6/8 march in the middle, and it moves into this 3/2 section where the music says sostenuto. That's a very interesting transition and a really cool color. The piece ends very exciting, so that'll be a pretty rocking into the concert. Again, lots of percussion parts, so y'all won't be bored. I hope you guys enjoy listening to these pieces. I hope you enjoy preparing them. I hope you have fun at your reading rehearsals coming up. And I can't wait to be with you later in March. Happy practicing, and see you soon.